Good morning, my math students. Today, I plan on reviewing with you how to find the area and perimeter of figures in the coordinate plane. You do not have to print out this entire lesson that I am presenting to you, but what you do need to print out is the graph paper that I attached to this lesson. You're going to need to graph the figures that I give you in this lesson and find area and perimeter of those figures. So the graph that I put attached to this lesson has 4 graphs on the front. You may need to print out 2 of those. So that's how we're going to proceed through this lesson. You're going to graph figures and you're going to find the area and perimeter as will be given to you in the directions. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is review with you the definition of area and perimeter. So area, I'm going to remove these for a minute so you can see what I mean. Area is the amount of space inside of a shape, and it's usually measured in squares. So it's how many square units does it take to fill up this rectangle. So I can fit 4 squares going down, and then I can fit 7 squares going across. So that means the area would be 4 times 7, which would be 28. Because if I continue to fill up this rectangle with all these squares, it would take me 28 squares to fill them up. Perimeter is the distance around the figure. So remember, in the word perimeter is the word rim. And the rim is the distance around this figure. So if I was this person walking around this block, I would add 7 plus 4 plus 7 plus 4, and that's how many units it would take to walk all around this block. That's what perimeter is. So what I'd like you to do right now is I'd like you to go to your graph paper that you have, that you should have printed out, and I want you to plot and connect the points to form a rectangle. Then find the area and the perimeter. If you don't have graph paper, what I suggest you do is do it on a piece of loose leaf paper as best you can and plot the points. So these are the points that you're plotting, okay? And then what I want you to do is I want you to find the area. It's going to be a rectangle. You're going to form a rectangle. So after you plot the 4 points, you're going to connect them to form a rectangle. You're going to find the area using this formula, length times width, and the perimeter, you're going to add up all the sides. Please pause the video, and then when you come back, you'll see the answer. So this is what your rectangle should look like. It should be in the first quadrant. Okay, remember when you plot points, when you plot 2, 1 for A, you go across 2, up 1. B, across 2, up 5. C was across 4 and up 5. And D was across 4 and up 1. So my length was 4 and my width was 2. Well, 4 times 2 is 8 units squared. If you look, there are 8 boxes inside of this. That's why it's 8 units squared. And the perimeter is 4 plus 2 plus 4 plus 2, and it's 12 units. Please do this on a different graph. So you go to a new graph on your graph paper. You're going to plot the points, connect them to form a triangle, and then find the area using this formula. Please hit pause. Okay, so my answer should have been 24 units squared. 0, 0 is the origin. It's the middle of the graph, so that's point A. 0, 6 means I start at 0 and go up to 6. And 8, 0 is across 8 and stay at 0. If you made any mistake, please fix it. My base was 8 units, so my base went from 0 to 8, so it's 8 units long. And my height went from 0 to 6, so it's 6 units high. 8 times 6 divided by 2 is 24 units squared. Here is the next problem. You're going to plot these points and connect them to make a trapezoid. So remember, it's going to almost look like a lampshade. And then you're going to use this formula to find the area. Please hit pause. So you're going to go to a new graph, plot, connect, form the trapezoid, find the area. Please hit pause. Okay, so here's my answer. My base went from a -8 to a +8, which means it's 16 units across. My top base went from a -3 to a +3, which meant it was 6 units across. And then my height went from 5 all the way down to -4. So if I add those absolute values, 5 plus 4 is 9. I plugged in those numbers into my formula. I added my bases times the height divided by 2, and I got 99 units squared. Please go to a new graph on your graph paper, plot and connect these points right here. You're going to form a parallelogram and use this formula to find the area. Please hit pause. Here's my parallelogram. My base is 6, my height is 5. So the base is 6, the height is 5. The area of the parallelogram is area equals base times height. 6 times 5 is 30 units squared. I also want to take the time to talk to you about a figure like this for a minute, because if you look at this figure, in order to find the area of this, this is an irregular shape. It's actually called a composite figure because you can take it and break it up into different polygons. So for example, if I take this and I want to, I can break it up different ways. I could draw a line going down. I can draw the line, and that I can find the area of this rectangle and this larger rectangle and add them together. I can break it up into 3 rectangles if I want. This is number 1, number 2. Oh, sorry. This is number 1. This is number 2 right here. I got to get rid of this line. And this right here is number 3. So there's different ways of doing this, but when you have a compound figure, which we will do later on in the week, you have to break it up into different figures and find the area of them and add them together, because there's no set area formula to find the area of a compound figure. You have to break it up into different ones. Also, to find the perimeter, what I would do is find the distance all around it. So I would add up the units all around it as if I'm walking all around this block and find the answer. So we'll explore that as the week progresses. Here's another one that I wanted to show you. This is also a compound figure, and what I did was I broke it up this way with the dotted line. So the top is a trapezoid. You would have to use the formula for the area of a trapezoid. The bottom is a rectangle, so you would use length times width. Once you find the 2 areas, you would add them together. You are going to have one of these on tonight's homework. The one on tonight's homework is similar to maybe this one, where you can break this up. So what I can do is I can break this up right here. I can draw this line going across, find the area of this rectangle, and then add them together. For homework tonight, your homework looks like this. So what you're going to do is graph the points and connect them. In number 1, this is number 1 on your homework sheet for tonight. These are going to be a triangle. So you're going to find the base, the height, and use the formula for the area of a triangle to find that. Number 2, I'm going to give you a hint, is going to be a trapezoid. So you're going to use the formula for the area of a trapezoid to find the area of this shape. So again, you're going to connect you're going to plot the points, connect them to form the trapezoid. In number 3, it's going to be a rectangle, and the same thing in number 4. So, but in 3 and 4, they ask you to find the perimeter. So you got to be careful and read the directions very carefully. In number 5, you have to graph all these points and find the perimeter. It does say in this last sentence, if each unit represents 1 mile, find the perimeter of the trail. So let's say the answer is 20 units. You would translate that to 20 miles. If you go to the back of the page, same thing. You're going to find, you're going to make rectangles for 1 and 2 and find the perimeter. So the question will always tell you whether you're finding area, perimeter. This is a parallelogram. You're going to find the base length, the height length, base times height. This is my irregular shape. So what I can do is I can take this and I can separate it like this if I want to, or I can separate it up here if I want to. And there's different ways of separating it. So like, for example, you don't have to separate it the same way I am. You can do your own way. So again, let's say I wanted to separate it like this. I can do that. I can find the area of this rectangle right here, this one, and add them together. You're going to find the area for this. You're going to do the base times the height divided by 2. This is a trapezoid. You're going to use your formula sheet to use the area of a trapezoid. And what I'd like you to do is write the formula, the area formula, plugging in the numbers, and the last line is the answer, and these should be labeled as units to the second power. This, I just want to take this time to show you. These are the answers to the homework that I gave you on Thursday night of last week. So I kind of wanted you to go back to that. If you can, you pause the video, grab that homework, and I'd like you to self-check your answers. I'm going to go through this, and feel free to pause the video and self-check your answers. Number 3's answer is right here. This is number 4's answer. Number 5, number 6, 7, 8, this is the answer, 9, I found the area of the trapezoid, the triangle, and subtracted them. And I got 144 feet squared. A lot of people were asking me questions about number 10. How do you do it? You have to plot the points and connect them to make a triangle. Okay, and the answer was 9 units squared. That was number 10. Number 11 was a rectangle. The perimeter is the distance all around it, and the area was 21 units squared. All right, so I have a few minutes left, and I want to just go back now and review with you a couple of things. So first of all, what I wanted to make sure you did also was, follow along really carefully with me. So again, area is what is inside the figure. It's always labeled as units to the second power. Perimeter means you add up all the sides. And basically what you need to do is plot the points, connect them, and find whatever the question is asking for. Okay, this one was a triangle, base times height divided by 2. This one was a trapezoid. Okay, we did this one. This one was a parallelogram. And remember about the irregular shape. You have to break it up into different rectangles. So you decide how you want to break it up. So the way I gave it to you was without these lines here. And you can break it up any way you want. As long as you break it up correctly and you find the answers rather correctly and add them together, you will get the right answer. The reason you're adding is because they're combined. This rectangle right here, okay, if you draw this line, is separate. So this area obviously is 6. And then this area would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this is a square. So the area of this is 36. The area of this is 6. 36 plus 6 comes out to be, for the area, is 42 units squared. And perimeter, you would find the distance all around it. You can hit pause and think about what it would be, and the answer would be 30 units, so just so you know. But go through this video again if you find it more helpful to listen to it more than once. Again, this is your homework tonight. Feel free to email me. You're going to do the front and the back. You're going to take a picture of it, both sides, and please post it in Google Classroom. And again, these are the answers to the homework from Thursday night. So you might want to go back and just check your answers. I know a lot of you had emailed me about questions about it. So we went through all these slides already, so you can certainly go back and hit rewind and watch them again. I hope everybody's doing really well and staying healthy. I do miss teaching you in person. And hopefully I will see you all sooner rather than later. Be well, stay healthy, and keep washing your hands. All right, guys, have a great day. See you on the next video.